Among our eminent panel on the news hour tonight, Kumar Ketkar is editor-in-chief of the Daily Bhaskar Group. Arvind Kejriwal is with us tonight. Prashant Bhushan is with us tonight. Paranjoy Goa Thakurta, top journalist and political editor of the Hindustan Times, Vinod Sharma, is coming back on the news hour tonight. Thank you very much for joining me on the show. Okay, Prashant Bhushan, do you think this is going to be effective tomorrow? It's a one-day fast after all. It looks more token than anything else.
Yes, it is a token fast, but it is to register our protest against this totally barbaric attack on democratic and civil rights. It's absolutely essential in a democracy that people should have the right to peacefully protest. And when people are exercising that guaranteed fundamental right, if they are set upon at night and attacked in this manner, this is totally unacceptable. And every citizen in this country must protest against this, because if this is not protested, if this kind of behavior is allowed on the part of the government, that's the end of democracy in this country.
So Arvind Kejriwal, are we to understand that tomorrow's fast is not against corruption but for Baba Ramdev?
It's not for Baba Ramdev, it is against the police atrocities that took place on that night. And it is to express our right, to demand that we have a right to protest peacefully.
No, so it's not, I'm asking you a second time, because your campaign is India against corruption. This fast tomorrow is to fast against the police action, against Baba Ramdev's supporters, not principally on the issue of corruption, which it was the last time.
It is basically against the police brutality that took place on Saturday night against the people who were protesting against corruption, who were sleeping, the women and children who were sleeping, and they were assaulted by the police.
Both of you, Prashant Bhushan and Arvind Kejriwal, especially you, Arvind Kejriwal, very vociferous today, very vehement about Kapil Sibal saying we are going to draft this with or without you. What would you have done if you were in Sibal's position? If the members were to say that you do it our way or no way, what would you do?
Arnab, let me just ask you.
They are always free to.
Okay.
What does that mean? You do it our way or you see, what we are saying is that the government says PM should be out, judiciary should be out, MPs should be out, middle and lower bureaucracy should be out. Practically there is no one in. Now I want to ask your viewers that tell us where should we compromise. Some people are saying that we have become very hard and we are not compromising. It's after all give and take.
I'm only asking.
Tell us where should we give. We are willing to give.
No, I'm asking. Yes,
what should we say, that PM should not be in?
No,
what should we say, that judges should not be in? What should we say, that MPs should not be investigated?
No, I'm only asking questions today. Yes, Prashant Bhushan, you wanted to say something there.
No, I was saying that that is why we have been saying that let the country see what's really going on inside this drafting panel. Why is the government fighting shy of televising the proceedings? After all, they have raised some objections about having the PM within the investigative ambit of the Lokpal or the judiciary, or the MPs taking bribes within parliament, etc.
Yes.
Let them give the reasons for that, and let the people see the reasons.
Seems fairly simple.
And let the people see our reasons for saying that yes, all of them should be within the investigative ambit.
Seems fairly simple. I don't see any problem principally with it, but both of you are fighting intensely. I'm seeing the hands being raised right now, different points of view coming in. Why not show it on TV? Paranjoy, what do you think? Show it on TV, let it be transparent, let people make their point, decide who's wrong, who's right. It's a parliament, debates are shown on TV. Why should this not be shown on TV?
Parliament debates are shown on television, but not the proceedings of parliament committees. In countries like the United States of America, the Senate committees are also telecast live. In India, we don't have that yet. Now, what is very clear is that the representatives of civil society, including my friends, Mr. Prashant Bhushan, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, and on the other side, the government, there's been a complete breakdown in trust. Now I'm not surprised that this has happened, but now that it has happened, what is the way forward? It seems to me most unlikely that the government will agree to a live telecast of the proceedings of the drafting committee, because the government has so far not agreed to the committees of parliament being or the proceedings of the committees on parliament being broadcast live. Now what happens, for instance, when you have a JPC? You have the chairman after the meeting briefing the media. What could perhaps be a compromise if there's a joint kind of media conference after the after the drafting committee meets, where you have one representative of the government and one representative of the representatives of civil society, and let both these representatives
my point is
that could be a way forward, because I very honestly don't see the government agreeing to the demand made by people like
there are no set rules
that you should televise the proceedings live. I don't really see it happening.
But Paranjoy, you see, the point is, let me go to Vinod Sharma. Point is, this is A, not a parliament committee. B, we know the points of divergence. We know there are two sides. Now we want to see them argue their points. We want to hear them argue, make their points logically, and then we want to be either convinced or not convinced that somebody is right. What is wrong with that? Vinod Sharma.
No, Arnab, there is nothing wrong with it, but as Paranjoy has pointed out, that this is one psychological barrier which has yet not been crossed even by our parliamentarians. And mind you that this bill is going to be finally debated by a committee the proceedings of which will not be telecast live. So, in Parliament. So I think that I'm very happy that Anna Hazare and his team have decided to be part of the negotiations. And I think that there is an argument. What you are saying is right. I would like to see these proceedings telecast live, because that will make for great television. That will educate me greatly about the respective positions of the two parties. But at the same time, the possibility of the two parties reducing the hiatus that is there between them would greatly diminish, because the civil society representatives would not like to come across as diluting their position, which is a maximalist position, and the Congress and the Congress and the UPA or the government will not like to come across as as yielding to the pressure by the civil society people.
No, but Vinod Sharma,
I think that
my question to Kumar Ketkar is then, you see, what is this whole anti-corruption movement? It's by the people. It is molded by public opinion. So why be afraid of public opinion, Kumar Ketkar, influencing the televising of the debate? If you show it on TV, people will form their views depending on what they see.
Well, I think there is a lot of mythology and a middle class sort of semi-intellectual fantasy about this so-called transparency and televised debates as a part of democratic process. I don't think committee discussions can be considered as a part of democratic process. Would editors of any newspaper or media would come out publicly, or for that matter even in front of their reporters and sub-editors, to discuss what the line of the editorial policy has been? So I don't think everything that is televised automatically becomes a democratic process. Would any corporate house come publicly in front of their even shareholders to discuss or televise their debates or their discussions about their policy options? I think there is a lot of mythology about the so-called transparency and democratic process. Televising the debates does not mean, I can assure you, it does not mean, it only means to add more cacophony to the already existing noise.
Arvind, that was from Kumar Ketkar. Arvind and Prashant wants to respond. Yes, Arvind first.
Yeah, I don't agree with Kumar Ketkar. I don't think that the examples that he has given apply here. The editorial team and the corporate entity that you have said, they are commercial entities. But when a government is taking a decision, why did we have right to information? Because we want the government to be transparent. Now, I just want to add another argument. In the committee meetings, in almost every meeting, we have been asking the government to make the proceedings transparent and televise them. The government has been saying no. The argument that the government has given inside the committee is that it would prevent the members from making free opinions. Now my argument is that 5 of us are not scared of making our opinions, of making a free opinion if they were televised. Then why are the other 5 members so scared of making free opinions?
Vinod Sharma.
What kind of opinions do they plan to make?
Vinod Sharma and then Prashant Bhushan. Yes, Vinod Sharma.
Arvind, with all due respect to you, Arvind, you are not governing this country. And you know, you are not going to face Parliament eventually. And it is not upon you to have this bill passed by Parliament. So I think that any government which is in power, regardless of the nature of that government, it would like to have a bill, a draft bill, that finds the approval eventually of all political parties. Because tomorrow, if this government is not able to have this bill passed in Parliament, you will go public and say their intention was never clear. So I think there is an element of distrust. And I think that element of distrust can be best bridged behind closed doors. Even
Why
when wife and
behind closed
husband
doors?
fight, they don't make up publicly in the garden. They make up behind closed doors.
Prashant Bhushan.
What works in life, that the similar thing works institutionally.